Welcome to Put This On, Season 2, Episode 42, where we watch Fixer Upper, Season 3, Episode 2. I'm Chris Lorenz and
Harrison Hoffman.
Noah Singer.
Brian Houston.
Maxer Upper. Sorry, Brian.
This show, guys.
All right, good podcast, everyone.
Hit us with a description here, Harrison.
The first rule of real estate is location, location, location. But what happens when a buyer's only option in the right location is a house with dreadful design and a clunky layout? We say, buy it, then fix it. Fixer Upper pairs renovation, design, and real estate pros Chip and Joanna Gaines with Waco/Dallas, Texas area buyers to renovate the wrong house that's in the right location. That's Fixer Upper on HGTV.
So, the show is real boring. But it has like a character to it, I feel. I feel like the married couple brings a little character to this show.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But like the content of the show just isn't like there.
I think it might just be because like home renovation just isn't an interest area of yours. Like I think it could be an interesting show if you're interested in renovating homes.
If you're interested in home.
And like home decoration, looking at homes, renovating homes, I could definitely see it be interesting. And I do think that like the kind of husband-wife relationship with with the hosts and the fact that they're kind of like running this as a part of their own business, it kind of like, and they, you know, like they're raising their family there, like they like kind of adds a little bit more to the story of the situation, the atmosphere.
I'm not like the show is like really bad. It's just because I think the hosts do a great job.
Yeah,
I just don't find the content all that interesting.
That's fair.
And they also don't go deep into the remodeling. They stay pretty surface level, but some things they do, and then they move over it quickly, like the headboard. Like the headboard could have been kind of interesting.
You want to talk about the headboard?
Could it have been interesting?
I think it could have been interesting.
All
so,
right. Well, I mean, should we go over the three houses first? I feel
go in
like
that order?
Do we really need to be so formal about this?
no. Go ahead. Go over that.
So, as Harrison spoke to the premise of the show, they get a house, then they fix it up. It's a fixer-upper.
Thanks.
So, as part of it, they talk about remodeling let's call it like the core interior of the house, right? Like knock down a wall, put in a new floor. But throughout the show, what's the woman's name? The woman host.
Joanna Gaines.
Right, Joanna Gaines. She spoke her full name when she called people. So she gets a custom-made headboard on their $50,000 budget.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, kind of crazy. But you could go into a lot of detail on how do you make this headboard? How do you choose a headboard? I'm sure there's a lot of interesting things about headboards.
Really? Because I don't think there is.
Like, how'd they choose wood? Why not choose that iron from the fence they had on the curb?
Because that doesn't fit in with the white room that it was in.
But they called it for the cabinets to match the pattern, right? The little like
the pattern. They didn't actually take the like gate and like put it in the kitchen.
Well, you know, Noah, back in 1927, wood was very in for headboards.
It felt like 1927.
Everybody knows this.
Yeah.
Oh. That stupid show.
So
this show?
No. The stupid Sasquatch show.
Taking a poll. We had the brick house, the powerhouse.
Can we talk about them before we vote on which one we thought we would...
One was brick.
Fine, then talk good.
One was power.
Talk about it.
One was black and white.
Yeah, so the first house they showed was the brick house, which I guess Noah spoiled is the one that they chose. It had like this ugly...
Did you spoil it?
I spoiled it.
I
Just
was like,
now?
I did not spoil that.
I'm just blaming Noah. It's fine. Don't worry.
Fall guy.
It would like, I guess it's a brick house that had like an awful like sun room in the front.
One
And
of
it
the
was,
main...
like, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, I think.
One of the main requirements they had of these houses was that it had a nice porch. So as they're going around and looking at these houses, they're commenting on the porch, the lack of the porch, whether or not it looks like a front porch or a back porch. There's a lot of porch talk.
And one of the other requirements that was briefly mentioned was when you walk in the house, you should see the kitchen,
Yeah.
which is such a weird requirement. That's so weird.
We also haven't talked about the other weirdest requirement is that all this stuff is to make a house for
Oh,
their
yeah.
future 12-year-old son.
This is the reason we picked this episode. Because we're like, oh, that's crazy. They
Yeah.
wanted a house for their future son. That's crazy.
No, not their future son. That would be too wild.
It's like their son is
It's
12.
a future house for their son.
So
Yes.
their son is 12 now, and they're like, well, when our son goes to Baylor when he's 18, then we need to have a house for him. So let's just do this fixer-upper thing right now.
Like, what if he's too stupid for Baylor and just doesn't get in?
It doesn't
what if he's
matter.
too smart
it's
for Baylor?
not for the son. We haven't talked about it obviously, but it's clearly for them to have a place to go before like basketball and football games.
What if he's too smart for Baylor? Like, are they going to say, no, you can't go to Harvard because we have this house for you in Waco, Texas?
It's possible.
Like, he has to fit right
Well,
in the middle.
At the end there were 3 kids.
Mhm.
Do they have 3 kids? Like
They
I
just
think that-
borrowed some.
Yeah, but the good thing about the house is that if all their kids go to Baylor, is you just get the hand-me-down house when you keep going to college.
well, it's also a 3-bedroom house. So
Oh.
they could all go there at the same time and have their own bedroom.
So
No, that's for the parents when they come for the basketball and football games.
Well, we know it's just for them to go to the basketball and football games. Like it has nothing to do with their kids going to Baylor.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be something like, oh, well, if you go to Baylor, you get to stay in this house for free.
It's either that or the kid's going to turn into a frat house. Who knows what they're going to do?
That house is definitely getting ruined.
Yeah, I can't believe that they want it like this all that nice shit in this house, and it's about to be some kind of frat house.
So he's 12, so he's got at least 6 years, most likely, before he like goes to college. They just, sitting on it. Like, are they gonna rent it out? Like, what do you do with that house for 6 years?
It's exactly what they said it was in the show. It's like their weekend house. They just go out there on weekends, and then they go out there for Baylor football and basketball games.
You
basically.
think they're like going out Waco downtown, just like partying up, and then just
Yeah,
like,
it's
stumbling home at their college, like reliving their college life.
probably. I mean, like.
Yeah.
Total budget for the situation is $150,000 for purchasing the house plus renovating it, right? So they're definitely in this kind of
Is that their retirement house?
It's their weekend house, you know.
Totally.
I would love to have seen their actual house.
Yeah. So I've been using the internet on the side while you guys have been
Oh
talking.
man,
It's time for the Noah Singer internet segment.
Have you found a new
The
blog,
week.
or is
No,
this the
no.
same blog?
No, this is trying
Noah
to.
Singer's Internet Mini Show.
We use the internet a lot.
Brought to you by Stamps.com. Stamps.com. It's a website where you get stamps.
I'm really glad we're getting those ed dollars. So I think the kid will get into Baylor. You have a 44% acceptance rate into Baylor.
Doesn't that mean
That seems-
that they're
that
more
doesn't
likely,
seem very
more
high.
unlikely than likely to get into Baylor?
But he's got that legacy.
So that's
That
gotta go.
that legacy and
Yeah.
and in state, I guess.
Do you think that he gets into that dude's frat because he's legacy? Is that
Probably.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
is that how that works? I mean, how many people are applying to Baylor? Is like Baylor?
32,136.
There you go.
Thanks, Noah.
I have a question that I think is on everyone's minds. Is this the new compound for the Branch Davidians?
Yes.
Okay.
So the second house that they showed, what was it? The black and white house?
That was the one that was condemned.
The second house was the powerhouse.
the powerhouse.
And it's called the powerhouse because it has no power. The electricity is not working in this house. That's why it's called the powerhouse.
It's also a 2-bedroom, 1-bath place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked condemned. It definitely had a no trespassing sign on it.
But it was only $50,000. So they were going to get to spend no, it was maybe even less.
It was less than that.
It was
'cause
like
they could
40.
spend no,
No,
it was
it was
52,
50.
and they could spend 108,000.
Okay.
Which most of that went to making it a livable house.
Yeah, like
a new roof and putting in electricity.
Yeah.
But they also accounted a lot more for the kitchen for that. They put 30,000.
Well,
for
I
that
mean,
kitchen.
they needed a house that you could live in, which requires a good they want a good kitchen. They have zero kitchen, so you got to replace the whole thing.
Yeah. They really didn't spend too much time on the powerhouse.
It was pretty obvious that wasn't going to be the one. I mean, you always have to show them something that's really shitty so that when you pick the less shitty one, you feel better about it.
Right.
And then the third house, which is the black and white house, which is a fully furnished house.
Yes, somebody was living there.
So yeah, somebody definitely was living there.
It was like one of the crews, like, friends or something. They were just paying $500 to shoot in their house
It
for
was
like an hour.
3-bedroom. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath place.
Yeah.
Which I thought that would probably not work out great.
Frat house.
Definitely. I mean, that might work with a frat house. I mean, one bathroom. It's going to be the most grossest bathroom. But, like, I think they're the only age that will deal with that kind of situation.
Yeah.
I'm going to go off a little bit on the side. But I really wish I had more money for music rights in that show. They have Brick House,
Yep.
Powerhouse,
Yep.
right?
Like Kanye West.
Like Kanye West, and then Black and White House.
Wow.
And you can go black or white, Michael Jackson. Like,
Yeah.
they kind of like twisted that in.
What you really want is like to have the most expensive music budget for any TV show.
It's just, if the show was on MTV, it might be possible.
Yeah.
I mean, the music budget on X on the Beach was pretty high.
Yeah. Well, I think the MTV just might get some special music deals because of just
Why? They
I
only
think
do
it's
is
MTV
reality
usually.
shows.
I don't know, dude. They promote music stuff. Who knows?
With their shitty TRL reboot,
Yeah.
which we
TRL
haven't
reboot.
done.
Wait, that's back on?
Yeah.
TRL's back on.
Oh, no way. Does Exhibit host it?
Why would Exhibit host TRL?
He's trying to.
I know
come
we
back
talked
in.
about his shitty show earlier, but like he's not going to be on the TRL reboot.
Maybe that's
For
what
no
was on
reason.
your mind earlier. Just trying to.
You mean our new TV show idea, Pimp My House?
We did talk about Pimp My House. We were watching the show because I think that's what we wanted.
I think that'd be an excellent idea.
We just want this show where you just fix up frat houses with like rich frats.
Yeah.
So you get these crazy ideas.
Just
Well,
like, oh
yeah.
man, like we're this frat and we're living in this sort of shitty house. Like, come on in here and pimp it.
The frat doesn't need the money, right? And I think what would be very cool about doing a frat house, they're gonna have some really bad ideas.
Yeah.
That they're
That's
gonna
what
put
we
in.
want.
Like, we need a permanent beer pong table installed over here. It's gonna be all kinds. We're gonna need a water slide from the roof.
Mattresses coming from the walls.
Everyone needs a Murphy bed. Everyone
Automatic-
gets Murphy beds.
One of
Yeah.
us really needs to infiltrate like MTV or something. This is good ideas.
We gotta do it.
The problem is you got to find the rich frats that will pay for it.
You don't have to find the rich
No.
frat. You just pay. You just get MTV to pay for it.
Right.
That's
But
like, so.
HGTV is not paying $160,000 for one episode of TV right now.
HGTV paid a bunch of money for all the shit that's in those people's house.
Yeah, they paid for the shit in the house, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the family paid for everything else.
yeah.
Supposedly.
I mean, most likely.
Right. Yeah.
So like, it's the companies definitely making money off of the people making the house, and they're making money off the TV show.
The good thing about the frat house ones, you don't have to buy the house. Like the house already exists. So
True.
it's just a renovation.
You're just paying the 50 to 100. You're probably paying. You could probably, if you go with all their ideas, could be like an insane amount of money. You just be like, like $500 to $1,000 to like add a pool with a permanent beer pong table in the middle of it.
The other good part about it is you can get the frat guys to help with the remodel. So you get them in there swinging the sledgehammers and doing that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
you don't want any of that.
Oh, that's what makes the show good.
Yeah, they're gonna be crushing beer kegs and like
It's be
shotgunning.
yeah, shotgun and beers, shooting nail guns.
Definitely.
Okay, we can't have this show.
Oh,
Injury liability is too high.
you see
have
like
you-
guys chasing each other around.
Have you seen a show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I have.
When they did the extreme home makeover,
Yep.
That's happening all the time.
That's
This
what
should no
happens.
longer happen frat houses. Just a lot of backdraft situations.
Oh man,
They got to be
We should
taking
just,
walls out
it's
with.
controlled burn.
We should just pitch a show. Like Netflix is taking in shows. Right?
Netflix would
Snapchat?
definitely fund something like that.
Netflix
Right?
is definitely just making another fixer-upper bullshit show.
Why shouldn't that not be us?
Because
That's
we have
right.
no
'Cause-
experience of fixing up any houses.
Because we have Exhibit.
Yeah.
Exhibit has no experience of fixing up any houses. Okay.
Okay.
So these three houses.
Wait.
I wanna
the,
talk about these
the
three
brick
houses.
house, the powerhouse, the black and white.
Yeah, I want to talk about. So, like, we all thought they were going to pick the lived-in house, but I guess retrospectively, that it would be difficult to renovate that house with them living in it because we all just
Oh,
assumed
yeah.
they were living in it.
Yeah,
So it would be hard to renovate that house.
for sure. Because like the house they did pick, like they tore that thing apart. They like
It's weird that anyone would. So, like, if you were, we know that this isn't what happens, but if they were showing you that house, it would be weird to show you that house in that state because it was messy.
Yeah.
It's like gutted but poorly cleaned.
Yeah.
There's just like leaves and shit all over the place.
mhm.
And the funniest thing was they had like a mattress in the living room that was leaning up against the wall for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, like that place is also like $60,000. Like it was not very expensive either, right?
Yeah, but even if you're selling any house for any price, you're gonna at least sweep.
It's like it
Like-
is.
like-
it is what it is. It's $50,000. You can
Like-
sweep for 50,000.
Like, I don't care who you are, you could sweep for selling your house.
Maybe.
Like it seemed like they already bought the house.
And they just
And then it
like
just
left the
got
door.
dirty.
They left the door open.
And they just didn't clean it again. Which is also a little weird. I'm still confused how the mattress got there. It's like a single mattress.
Yeah, that is.
It was
weird.
leaning against the like wall somewhere.
It's just from the last dude who's owning it.
What do you like?
Get rid of the mattress.
Yo, do you know how hard it is to dispose of a mattress?
You know, I don't.
I have no idea.
It
You
is
gotta,
actually
you gotta
not.
like call the garbage company, like come and pick it up. It was way easier for that dude to just leave it in the living room and let the next person
Just-
deal with
Just
it.
take it to the backyard and burn it.
burn that mattress.
What about the Mill Springs?
Don't worry
melt.
about it.
Okay.
Melt it.
just bury it in the backyard.
And just bury it.
Yo, all of a sudden when that thing's burned up, you got a small slinky business.
Oh, that's true.
I want to see you turn a mattress into a slinky. Some mattress spring slinkies. Definitely, it's how they're made.
If I still had my old mattress, I would.
Oh man. Yeah. So like, clearly, they didn't actually pick out of these houses. I don't understand why they even have this facade anymore. Like everyone knows it's not real.
Because people want to see some houses, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, but there's shows where you specifically go and pick a house.
Cause,
I
like,
understand that.
Because I think that the reason why it's there is because, like, you can put yourself in these people's shoes, and it's just like hey, if I'm trying to find a fixer-upper, I'm going to go around with some real estate agent and look at a bunch of houses, and then when you watch the show, you can see them look at them and see the kinds of things that they look at and comment on and think about when they're deciding between the houses. So then it just makes it relatable, you know, and it provides some useful info for when you're going to try to find your fixer-upper
in Waco, Texas.
in Waco, Texas.
I think they do the comparisons poorly, but I do think, to Harrison's point, there is some informational bit, right? It's like, oh, I can buy a more expensive house, but I can't do so much, or I buy like the complete rundown place, and here's like what it costs to fix up a rundown place.
Like, I definitely thought it was interesting seeing the different breakdowns for the houses. It's like, oh man, they're gonna have like here's what they're gonna have to spend, what kind of money on to deal with this thing. It's kind of interesting.
I found that it was really boring in the show. Like they didn't give a lot of detail, and they were just like, they're not like, oh, this room is fine. They're just like, oh, for these like 3 rooms, we'll fix those. The other rooms, you don't get to see those rooms.
Yeah.
And like they're like, oh, we're gonna give you this quick rundown of this house, and we're just like, it just wasn't enough detail, and I'm not sure I wanted more detail, so I'm just like, just scrap that whole thing. Like, show me one house, give me in-depth detail on what you're doing, and maybe go more into what's going on instead of like, you know, we'll get in. I guess we can get into this. They like start the renovating of the house, and they just like the one dude is like the renovator, and then the wife is like the person that decorates.
Yeah.
And like they show the dude like demolishing a bunch of stuff, and then like that's it.
Yeah.
Like, and then they have him come in and like show some problems, which weren't like, at least one wasn't a real problem.
Right.
Which one? The water?
The water.
Yeah.
That
Water leak,
definitely
yeah.
seems like, oh, if we put some water here, it'll dry fine. But like, you know, maybe we could film it and make it look like it was a problem.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't
No,
know.
that seems like a real thing that could happen.
I mean, it's a
Yeah.
real thing that could happen. But it seems very formulaic that I'm sure if I watch the next episode, they're gonna have these 3 problems appeared. One of them cost money. This one was a cosmetic problem that resolved on its own.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean,
it just seems so formulaic and just like, at least give me some. If you're gonna make a show about renovating houses, I want to know more about it, not just this is barely service level.
On a side note, though, they say the water was from the air conditioner.
Talking to
running.
the mic, you're not.
So, for those who couldn't hear, and for those that are listening, they said the water was from the air conditioner running.
Yeah.
Now, they're in Texas.
yeah,
That air conditioner is gonna be running.
that's the thing. And I'm sure it has been running before.
It's not in the budget to replace the air conditioner in the attic.
They definitely didn't come back to that. They're basically just like he's like, oh, found the leak. It's that air conditioner. Problem solved. And they never came back to it.
But it wasn't a problem to begin with. They were just like, let's blame the air conditioner and move on. Like, I don't think that was a real problem.
You don't think that air conditioner is actually leaking?
Or it was just a stain from the old house and they just painted over it.
Yeah.
Like,
So you think they attributed the problem to the wrong thing?
I just don't think it was a real problem, and they just made it seem like a problem because they need problems so they could show them on the show.
I don't think so. Like, there's a lot of interesting content you can make from putting together a house.
Well, they didn't
Right.
do it, so
No,
you tell the producers that.
no, they did a bad job at that.
Like, it was interesting for the minute they were demolishing it. That was fun. Spend
Yeah?
some more time on that, maybe. On that note, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna take out that front porch, and it's gonna cost them $15,000 to remove this front porch." And I guess that was adding the extra porch. They added railing and
I mean,
finished it. I
like
guess.
basically, it just used to be like a sunroom, and they just put the room outside. They just took the walls off the
Yeah.
outside of the house, and then just made like the new front door was like the room to the sunroom.
It seems they spent like an hour just demolishing it, and like that was it.
yeah.
And I'm like, that cost them $15,000.
The shot where they just literally just 3 dudes who tied a rope to the roof that thing just pulled it off of the house.
I'm sure they did some prep work so it didn't just demolish the house, but that's definitely like a 3-hour job.
Yeah.
The
There's
prep
no
work-
way-
15K was also rebuilding the outside. I think. It
Yeah,
wasn't
I was
just-
thinking
The railings.
later adding the railings and stuff. 15K definitely seems still a little high.
You don't see how cleanly that sunroom came off? There was a lot of prep work.
You think so? How much prep work do you think
That
was
was
in
so clean. They just pulled it and it was like all the rails just came out right. The roof
Well, the
didn't
way
take
the
off
show
any
made
of
this
the house.
filmed this beginning demolishing part, they demolished a bunch of walls inside and the outside in a day. So
The way that they shot it definitely didn't make it seem like they were doing it that carefully, because the dude was just like kicking walls down and stuff like that.
well, because
Like-
he's not actually doing any real work.
Right.
He's just like,
You're just like, okay, here,
just
hold this
let me-
rope, pull
let
it
me
down.
film me do this dumb thing.
Oh,
He's
man.
got to save his energy to work on the silo later that day.
We haven't even talked about the
Let's talk
silos.
silo.
Oh,
Waco Silo.
There's a side story
all right.
where
More like a side 1 minute thing about this silo that they're renovating, and then they never come back to it.
This is the through
that's
line
not
for
what
the
I'm
series.
talking
This
about. I'm
seri-
talking about their new dog, Rover.
Oh,
They start off the episode with he brings home a new dog, and the family was like, "Cool, okay, that's the end of that."
Yeah, it was like it's like oh man, you adopted another animal. It's like he must just have.
It's so weird. It's Max faces. It's so weird, this intro.
that had to have been a running thing. It's maybe episode 2 or 3. Oh look, we adopted this horse.
Do you think every episode they have a new puppy? By the end, they
It'd
have
be amazing.
It would be a much better show.
20 dogs by the end of the season. And then the next season, you could talk about each episode like one of the dogs died or something.
Oh no,
I don't know.
Wow.
that's a tough season.
It reminds me of all the side stories in the room that they never get back to.
Yeah.
Well, these are season like stories, Brian. You gotta watch every week to figure out what happens with the dog.
The
And what
silos.
happens with the silo.
I don't think they're going to come back to that silo.
They're definitely coming back to the silo. The silo was brought back in the episode, actually.
The silo,
It was
like,
brought up 2 times.
It seems like the silo thing is such a big project that it's basically their office. They're just working out of the silo and then going to other
Yeah.
places to do things.
They went to the silo to show them the CGI version of the house.
Uh-oh, Noah's got another Noah's Internet Corner update.
I
Yep.
also have an internet update.
Oh.
After that.
The Max's internet update.
Wow. Okay. So the silo is actually pretty integral to Chip, who's the guy's name, and Joanna Gaines. So it looks like on an earlier episode they talked about buying these silos, and they turned it into this like whole like market. Kind of. It seems like with a bunch of stores.
Like a
and,
Chelsea Market type thing?
it seems like that. They call it Magnolia Market. But yeah, pretty much it seems like a Chelsea Market type of. So if people that are not familiar with Chelsea Market, it's kind of like a
Old warehouse with a bunch of tiny little cool stores in it.
thank you, Max. And so yeah, it looks like they've done that and they turned into like a destination for people to go check out.
Okay, so this episode was 2015, so I guess they must have finished it in the time since.
It's a good assumption.
So interesting. So it opened October 30th, 2015.
Oh, so they must
Oh.
have gotten on their horse there.
Well, I mean,
Well.
this was filmed probably
Yeah.
early 2015, maybe
No, sure.
2014. So-
Still.
So yeah, like that makes more sense now that it was like.
well, they
intertwined their
definitely
business.
were like. They mentioned something about a deck when they were like they put the only thing they did with the silo in this episode was they put up a railing, and
Yeah.
then they
Yeah.
came back to it later where they showed the CGI of their like remodeled house in that like warehouse.
Can you talk about the fake CGI?
It's not fake. It's just CGI.
No, they had real CGI.
What is fake CGI? Explain this to me.
So they had real CGI at some point, and then they had real aftershots, but with that grainy filter.
Oh,
over it.
no way,
I-
dude.
I don't think that's what was happening
That's
at all.
not
I think
what
that
was
was
happening.
also
That was just CGI.
CGI too. It just looked shitty.
But with like a.
They had like a
lens
grainy
over it.
filter, yeah, to make the bad CGI not seem so bad.
Yeah.
because they put a grainy filter over
That's
it.
got to be what it is.
Oh man.
Do you give it some? What did she call the
Character.
Character. She wants some character into the CGI. So it's like putting a CRT filter over it.
CCGI.
CGI.
Yeah, some filtered CGI.
All right, so Max, what is your internet update?
You know what? Let's hold on to it until something else that happens later in the episode.
Okay.
Okay, so Silo, and then they install some
CCGI.
arches and shit.
They basically just remodel this house.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, there's not really that much else that comes up aside from that. Oh, there was also the hot water heater issue, I guess, which
No.
is not really worth talking
they
about.
didn't even bring up the fact that like, oh, it was $162,000 now. Like, there's a lot about pricing in this episode, but they kind of gloss over a lot of it. They're like,
They should have shown the final totals.
yeah, they never showed the final total.
No.
And
Which
Finally, they like wheel a bunch of furniture into the home, and that's it.
It doesn't seem like it's like in their budget really, but it just kind of shows up.
So here's what's up: you don't get to keep the furniture.
Really?
It's not part of the budget.
No.
Is that what happens?
That's entirely that.
So they just put it in there for the show and then they just take it all away?
Uh huh.
That's amazing,
So
dude.
Oh.
so that custom headboard, Dunzo.
I don't.
The headboard
know.
came out
I
of the
don't know
budget,
what's
the
up with
actual
that.
budget, I think.
No.
No.
I think that did they mention it in the show?
I don't think so, man.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
You just get the headboard. You don't even get to use it on the bed.
I feel like when they showed the like receipt, kind of when they go into the building, right? It's like this is 5,000, whatever.
Yeah.
They would have had the headboard on there, and we would have noticed that.
Yeah, the headboard probably would have been a pretty big.
It was just part of the bedroom thing.
Do you think? I feel like once it's over, you have the option to buy all of it.
Yeah, that'd be really expensive. It'd be like, yeah, it'd be a ton of money.
It definitely would be pretty expensive to buy all that like furniture because
Do you
that
think that-
furniture is definitely pretty expensive.
Do you think that they took that bakery sign back with them?
I hope so. Yeah, as the two really weird things is like right next to the door there was a sign that just said family and like a normal font, and it was just like every shot they were like at the person with like they were right by the door, so you see this family sign, and it's just like such a weird decoration. I understand it's definitely a fad to just put like words on the wall, but
I have a hot
family
take.
is such a weird just.
Doesn't
Yeah.
count. I have a hot take. If you have like words on the wall that include live, laugh, love, family, or imagine, just stop listening to our podcast. I don't like you. Get
Oh,
outta here.
man.
Oh man,
Ooh.
alienating the audience here.
Ooh.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
This one had bakery though. Was his people have bakery on the walls fine with you, Max?
Should we put bakery onto Harrison's porch?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Next to that
Definitely
Sky
where
Dragon
some things
poster.
get baked.
Definitely, definitely where I feel like that sign would be more appreciated than in the kitchen.
No one's baking bread in that kitchen.
Birthday's coming up soon. Hey.
Do you want a bakery sign too, Noah?
No, it's Harrison's birthday.
That's true. We could get you a bakery sign, Harrison.
You could. I'd be very excited about a gigantic bakery sign.
So there's another thing that was weird when they were like showing off the house, and they showed like the kitchen tiles, and they were dirty, and they were new tiles. It was very, very weird. They were just like, did you forget it and have to go back like a month later? Like, how are these tiles dirty? Did you buy them dirty? I'm so confused.
The glamour shots didn't come out.
It's just-
perfect.
when you got a construction site, stuff gets dirty and they just didn't have time to clean it.
Did they have to take the tiles back? Did they?
I just think that like these kinds of things in these shows come together so fast at the end. They just like I'm sure that they just didn't have time to deal with
Or
it.
the editor was like, "What the fuck, guys? This shit's dirty."
Yeah,
And,
for
like,
sure. He's like, oh, I gotta put
like,
this shot in.
uh-oh.
You got to get any other shots? Oh my god.
Like, I can't imagine that. Like, somebody should get fired over that. Like, that's just like so bad.
Oh, totally. No, the camera guys are meant to get B-roll footage, right?
Footage?
I know. I said that weird. Right? Footage.
Some sort of footage?
Yeah, they just didn't do their job.
Let's be clear. Nobody's getting fired over this show. It's shitty enough. Like nobody cares about their job.
I don't know, man. I think this is a pretty popular show.
This is like number what, like 10? It was like in the top 8 of reality shows right now on Hulu.
Yeah.
Really?
People love Chip.
Yeah.
Get your
And
shit together, America.
I've definitely watched this shit when I'm at home and my mom like puts something on the TV because it's just like eating cake. It's just like meaningless and you could just have it on and not care.
Yeah.
Cake would be better. Made in that bakery.
At some point, though, I get full of cake.
I mean, I definitely, I feel like it's perfect for people that like channel surf and just put something on. It's just HGTV. It's all about houses and stuff, and you just watch stuff about houses all day, every day.
I agree. It is
And
a
then-
good channel surfing show.
And I feel like the couple provides like some life to the show. Like they provide the character, as they would say.
You could easily pick up that episode at any point in it and understand what's happening.
For sure. It's
Yeah, without any like preamble at all.
No.
yeah.
Yeah, one part I was still confused about, they didn't even talk about the landscaping.
Did you have to take that
they,
back
they
too?
definitely took that landscaping away too. They just put that
Well,
on
that
the
could have
truck.
been part of the $15,000 to remove the porch.
That's
you
like a
had to do-
2-day job at best, or at worst.
It's still part of like redoing that whole thing
Like the cost of it. Yeah.
and
Sure.
making that all nice.
Yeah, it's nuts to me that they don't have like a final invoice with all the line items of like what did they spend.
Right, it would be a lot more interesting. It's like, hey, here's like the cost of all this, and here's like the experts' opinions on.
I just want.
Why they
I
do
feel
that?
like there need to be more couple interaction. I think that makes the show better. More of the couple interacting because I think that was actually the best part.
The couple buying the house or the builder couple?
No, not the people buying the house. The people that run the show.
Yeah.
I
They're-
think they're the
they're
best
okay.
part of the show.
I mean, like,
by
it-
far.
It's definitely something that's seemingly different about what like these kinds of shows because like it seems like when we watch Tiny House Hunters and like it's just like some different random real estate agent showing these people around every episode. You don't like build a relationship with that person.
You just get
but
to meet a
with
lot
Chip
of
it-
crazy people.
But with Chip and Joanna, is that their names?
Yeah.
Chip and Joanna, It's a thing. Get
Well-
to know them, get to see their business grow, get to know their kids.
Well, Chip is seems like a really fun character, and I feel like they have great chemistry together.
They're
so,
definitely
like-
hamming it up,
Yeah.
you know. But it's okay.
I feel like Chip isn't hamming it up. He's
Chip's
just
hamming it
that-
up all the way.
He's
That's just how he is normally.
maybe.
yeah,
It's possible.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of him. Yeah,
I think it's fun. I think that's the best part of the show.
Yeah.
Max, are you still looking up this furniture?
No, I mean
He's on Reddit.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I'm not on Reddit.
So it's all staged, just like a stage.
Everything about all of these travel shows is staged.
Oh,
No one's buying a house; they've already bought the house.
Did you just call this a
really?
travel show?
Well, the travel house show. Generally, these are international house hunters or whatever.
Yeah.
Got it.
House hunters. The house hunter shows are generally just, hey, these are a good way to show other cities and other houses in other cities.
Do you think that this show came to be when they smashed together one of those house hunting shows just with like a 30-minute house hunting show with a 30-minute renovation show? We should just make this the same thing.
I feel like
They
they're
crunched it.
oh, we got these house hunter shows. You get this tool time.
Tool time.
Get some sort of tool time house hunter show.
I can see that guy doing good on a Tool Time reboot.
I feel like somebody branched out and made a pilot for this, and then HGTV bought it.
Yeah.
Similar to 1-800-ASK-GARY.
Like Chip and Joanna shot their own pilot of this thing and then submitted it to them.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
seems
possible.
totally
I tried to look up on Wikipedia that I thought that's what happened. I tried to look it up, and I
Yeah.
didn't really care enough to go past Wikipedia. And Wikipedia didn't say anything about it.
That's why I'm here, Chris.
They are getting sued though for they have apparently had 2 partners before the reality show
Oh.
that they convinced them to sell their shares in the company before they did this reality show.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Everything here is alleged.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But they seem so wholesome.
They allegedly had partners that they allegedly sold their stake into. I mean, the alleged part is whether they did it with the reality show in mind, and I don't really. They lied about it or something, I guess.
Yeah, something.
Doesn't really matter.
No, I googled Chip and Joanna Gaines because I wanted to look into what's going on with them.
Talking to the mic, Noah.
So the top Google News story for Chip and Joanna Gaines right now is from a day ago from the Christian Post,
Ooh, reputable source right there.
questioning if they're having too many kids.
Oh,
A
my
feminist says population control worth revisiting. Again, quoting the Christian Post.
Wow. There you go.
Because they're about to have their 5th kid.
There are a lot of people that have that many kids.
So, I mean, they're on the last season of this show, I think, from what I could see. And
Yeah.
so, has she ever been pregnant on the show? I feel like,
I feel like you gotta be if you
She's
got
got
5 kids.
well, 4 kids and 5th of
They have a picture here of her
How many
being pregnant.
kids were in the show? I feel like there were 3.
4.
3 kids? 4 kids?
So this,
Who knows at 2015?
Yeah, I think it's weird they're slamming them for having a kid. That seems crazy.
That is a. It's not my personal choice, but yeah,
I mean, I think they can afford it with this nice HGTV show.
yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
All right, Max, I have a good idea,
Hit me.
but would this show be better if everyone was naked?
No.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Would the show be better if everybody, including the hosts, were kids?
Oh, kids just demolishing a
Yeah,
home?
now that would be fun.
What
I like
kind
it.
of- That's similar to the frat house idea. I think it would be
Kids remodeling a frat house.
no,
Yeah.
just
So it has like
like
slides and stuff.
everything would be fun. Get real people to do the renovations, but to have kids do everything that has around the show.
You could make this show with kids because you just get the kids to go in there and just do the part that Chip does, and then the people off screen just do everything else.
I think that would ruin the show because I'm who's actually doing the renovations? Because they're just be clear the kids aren't doing it, and it wouldn't be fun unless the kids slide actually turned out into something that you
Yeah.
can actually use.
Okay, we're gonna do.
And then instead of just being well, I got to put a slide here. I'm gonna go play. like,
Who made chocolate milk come out of your faucet?
yeah, like it'd be funny to do like Pimp My House. I think as we talked about.
Yeah.
With like kids and frat bros.
Yeah.
Like, we just want these houses to be more ridiculous instead of just being like kind of common and boring.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with the kids' house is that you can't do anything after that. Like, you get that chocolate milk faucet, like, nobody's going to want that house.
It's true. Well, it's kind of the same thing that happens on Pimp My Ride. They put so much dumb shit in the car that you can never sell the car to anybody. It's like there's a
And
fish
you
tank
didn't-
in the car.
You couldn't even drive the car.
And you didn't want to.
Yeah.
So you got a fish tank in the car with a PlayStation.
Yeah.
But the engine just doesn't work.
We embedded this Dreamcast in the back of the car. He's only.
Spoiler alert, it
Yo,
kills
I
the
want
battery in
that.
5 minutes.
All right.
Well, wait, I have a update.
Oh.
on
Noah's Internet Corner.
Chip and Joanna Gaines.
What?
Yeah. No, this is kind of. So one, they are stopping making the show. They've
Yeah.
left
Yeah.
Oh, y'all know this.
We
okay.
know this was the last season. Well, I mean, I mentioned this was the last season.
Mhm.
Their popularity is a lot bigger than I expected. So they had the second most watched cable show in the second quarter of 2017.
Damn.
What?
Wow.
Yeah,
Maybe we should have
like,
watched one of those instead of
So
one from
that's kind of
2015.
shocking, and they're actually selling now their own brand at Target.
Wow.
Chip and Joe?
Like they're making it.
They're doing okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's why they can have 5 kids.
Yeah, but they started out this show like.
Well, they start out with the fixer-upper business, and then they turn it into a show,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
which is why I think that they look up to see if they've made their own pilot. See if you can find that.
Let's not Google on podcast.
No, it's
time.
fine. He could do that. We can have Noah's Internet Corner when he's done.
Okay, okay. I just like didn't want us to wait here.
No, we're not
silently.
waiting
Right.
here in silence.
No.
Max,
Hey.
give me the ranking.
Bottom third, top of the bottom. I would never watch another episode. It was perfectly perfunctory, whatever. I just stopped talking about this fucking show.
Thanks, Max. That their listeners definitely won't. All right, Brian.
Bottom of the bottom. This was terrible.
Bottom of the
I didn't even like the
bottom.
host dynamic. Like, when he was just dancing, like, and they went into like a 2-minute dance segment, that was annoying.
That was like the best segment. That was. Aww. Well,
Chris, don't say middle third.
it's not middle third.
Number one. Number one.
To the top. To the top.
It's bottom. It's just boring. It's like
Like,
I think it straddles the line between middle. To be honest with you, like it's definitely top of the bottom. But just because if they provided more life to the show, I think it could be a much better show. It just seemed bland.
yep.
Harrison.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna. I've strayed from the James system, but I do want to qualify my answer a little bit. So I think it's gonna be top of the bottom because like it's not like so horrible that like you can't watch it. Like the shows that are bottom like are so bad that you can't watch it. Like this show, if it's on, you're like, oh, whatever. That's some kind of cool thing they did that house. It's okay. Like I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it, but if I was like somewhere and it was on the TV, I wouldn't like, turn my back to the TV.
It's definitely a show that I've put it like, as I said, that my mom or something would put on, and I would just sit on my laptop and like that would just be some like
Yeah.
background noise that I could pay no attention to, and I wouldn't care at all.
Right. That's
Uh,
yeah.
So, because some of these other shows is just like terrible. This one's just boring
Yeah.
and bland.
It's just it's background noise.
Noah,
Bottom of the bottom.
really both?
Bottom of the bottom.
Oh, man, you guys need to watch more reality shows.
No, the reason being there is definitely worse TV, but then the worse it gets, the more interesting it is to watch. This is like perfectly in the middle, where it's just not appealing at all. Like even the worst HD TV shows, they go really esoteric on something, and then like it could be something interesting. This just has no depth to it. And it's not bad enough to make fun of.
It just exists.
I'm not sure I really want an in-depth renovation show. Like maybe you're like, oh, let's how to replace this wall as like an hour show. I mean that could be interesting. Let me
Like,
go really in depth on how to like do something.
Like it doesn't seem like HGTV gets into like the technical nuts and bolts of like how to do this stuff. It's just kind of like look at this eye candy like home stuff, and that's about it. I think that the DIY network, the do-it-yourself network, might be the home for getting some actual construction tips.
The thing is, like, no one's gonna be like, "Oh, this is how you really replace a wall in like an hour." Like, however long it would take you to explain that. That's just not something somebody's gonna like just put on.
You don't
Yeah.
gotta do that, but so for example, they said they matched the like the wood on the windows with the iron gate on the outside.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not just
Design tips.
yeah, like,
I-
right? Like that would have been interesting to hear like a 2-minute like segue like thing on like her thought process on that. I've been like, oh, okay. Maybe I can learn something.
Or it's like
yeah.
failed ideas, like, "Oh, we thought about this, but then I didn't like it. Didn't look great. Didn't mesh with this other thing."
It's just like I don't know that people are watching the show to like learn how to renovate a place. I just think that they're watching it because like they could see themselves doing it. Like it's like
But-
like ooh, like I could save $150,000 and I could live in a place like that. Like I could do it, right?
I get it, but like you say learning. There's no learning happening in the show.
No, that's what I
at all.
mean.
And
Like-
there's only the beginning part is like, oh, I could see picking a house and like picking what I wanted renovated. But after that, what am I watching the show for?
Yeah.
You
Like,
want to see
I-
the end, but I don't understand why you want to see the renovation.
It's just
So
yeah.
you can see the problems that come up,
Yeah,
and the
it's just-
solutions you have to solve. Like the adventure from like picking the house to like the final product in this show was just so boring. Like I didn't need to see any of it. It's like show me the end.
See, everybody keeps saying it's boring. That's like, why is it anything above the bottom of the bottom?
Because have you seen Celebrity
yeah.
Apprentice?
Yeah, Celebrity Apprentice
Like
is straight
there's
garbage.
like actively bad shows. This is just like
Passively bad.
Real Housewives of New Jersey. Are you kidding me?
this is just
I even think that would be more interesting.
It's not.
no.
So
You would think it's not.
Noah's Internet Corner has an update.
Hit me.
Interesting. They actually both went to Baylor, which was featured many times in this episode, which we didn't bring up actually.
Well, we said that they bought this house just so they could party at Baylor. So
Right, but no, Chip and Joanna Gaines both went to Baylor. They didn't meet in college; they met after college. Once they met after college, they actually opened up their first Magnolia Market together, and that was like their first project.
Okay.
And then they started flipping homes. Then with the market crash, they started to do renovations.
Mm.
They did it for about a decade. HGTV found them,
Wow.
Oh,
and the rest is it.
interesting.
interesting.
Good
Huh.
for them.
It's I feel like they'd
That's-
make more money if they brought the show to HGTV, but
Maybe.
there seems to be doing pretty well as the number 2 cable show of 2017.
I don't think they're complaining.
No.
So I guess we can move on to updates. I don't think we have anything to say about the
No.
show.
Can we not watch boring shows that we know are going to be boring going into it?
We didn't know that this was going to be boring.
I knew this is going to be boring.
I mean, the thing is, like, we really like Tiny House Hunters, so
That's true.
so
But that
like
has, like,
it's
a fun
hard to
gimmick.
say. Like, you're right. We can only maybe do these shows with gimmicks. Whereas, like, who knows? It's the number 2 cable show. I mean, who knows why? I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it could have been boring, but I didn't expect it to be this boring.
Okay.
Mhm.
I agree with you that sometimes we watch shows just because they're new and they're popular, and maybe we need to like do more esoteric shows. I mean, we could have a larger discussion about it because I think that we do get more enjoyment out of them. But then we watched X on the Beach, and that show was still bad.
Yep. That's true.
Like,
Here's the thing.
Was it?
Sometimes you get a home run. Sometimes you got to smoke an extra blunt and just suffer through this baseball game.
Yep.
welcome to the bakery.
There you go.
So should we do some sort of challenge update?
We should probably talk about vendettas.
Some sort of vendetta.
Ooh.
Vendettas.
It's been a hell of a season so far, I think.
I think it's been kind of slow so far.
Really? Oh, I think it's been really good so far.
I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It was like episode 3 before somebody got kicked off, though.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people on the show. They definitely had to do some setup. Like there was definitely some of that stuff.
That's not true. They kicked 2 people off the first episode.
That is true.
Oh,
on
sorry.
The,
Like,
on
well,
the
I guess first like challenge.
Yeah,
thing.
the first elimination was
The first elimination was the first.
And guess who is in the first elimination for the 3rd season in a row? Who who is one of the all-time worst challenge competitors?
Corey has won before.
He's won the whole thing.
He's been in
Corey-
the finals.
he's
I
never
think.
won.
Corey
the
has
full
not
thing.
won the whole thing before.
I feel like he's been in the finals.
That's true.
Corey's game is awful.
yeah. Right now he's bad.
Corey's game is terrible.
He killed himself last season.
All phases of his game are bad.
Except for is it polydicking?
He is bad at physical challenges. He does attempt to do some polydicking, but he ends
just
up
has a
having sex
girlfriend.
with too many girls and like ends up creating a bunch of trouble for himself. So he's not good at that part. He has an alliance with Nelson, who if Corey isn't the worst player in the game, Nelson is the worst player in the game. It's just like there's just a lot of bad elements here.
Well, I feel like the whole Corey Nelson thing, if Nelson never said, like, I want to get the top challengers out of the challenge, created some sort of vendetta with all the best players in the game, I feel like he'd be doing a lot better.
That's part of the reason why Corey's one of the worst challenge players of all time.
I feel like at this point, that's why he is the worst
Yeah.
challenge in the game.
I think that one of my favorite things that happened, and I don't think we've talked about it yet on this pod, is so Nelson obviously finishes on the bottom of the challenge and is immediately into the elimination, and so he's out of it. And now Corey is going to be eligible for elimination because, of course, when you're trying to break up an alliance, you put in the alliance people versus each other. You put in friends against each other, and then at some point, Nelson and Corey kind of just corner one of the British guys who's on the troika that gets to make the decision on whether or not Corey's gonna go in versus Nelson. And Nelson just starts making the pitch to this dude. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, I cannot fucking believe that this guy is gonna get on a team with Nelson and Corey right now. And he shook his hand, agreed to him, and then just totally burned both of them, obviously.
That's definitely the wrong thing to do. Because at that point, you've committed. It's fine that those two aren't going to like you anymore, but I feel like the other people aren't going to like you as much either. Because you told somebody and then you cut it off. Whereas you're like, yeah, I was like, let me think about it, and then just walk away.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I feel like he's aligned himself with the better party in this case.
I mean, you should totally. But you should never have committed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's definitely part of that. But also, you got to build up some vendettas so you get back on next season too. You got to pull some dirty moves so
Some
you get
sort
back.
of vendettas too.
Exactly.
There was a good quote I wrote down. Bananas is dating some girl on the show,
Yeah,
and
the Big Brother girl.
the quote was, "You're strawberry to his banana."
Yep,
At some point was said, and bananigans.
Bananigans.
I thought that was a
As
good
a
line.
shenanigans type thing. But yes.
There's some sort of bananigans. I don't really remember the full context of that, but I thought that was funny.
So it's a good season. I like the money aspect of it.
The money aspect works out really well.
That the first place guy and girl from each challenge get some money to bank, and then the money can kind of be stolen in different ways. And inside of the house, they have just a cash leaderboard, so you know kind of who's on top, which is good.
Is that cash from the final prize money, or is it just?
I think it's additional cash.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's just bonus cash.
Yeah, I think the prize money at the end is just.
Yeah, they made the final prize a little bit less. I think they made the final prize 500,000 instead of $1 million this time. They might just be.
Well, it was only $1 million for the dirty thing.
Sure.
Right.
So it's 500,000. Then they're distributing other money for their bonus. I think.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, I guess we could talk a little bit about the gimmick of Vendettas this year.
Yeah.
Is that if you win
Elimination.
you get a grenade.
Grenade.
And there's 3 ways you can use this grenade.
Mm-hmm.
You can steal money.
Steal $5,000 from. Is it just your vendetta or
I
from
think it's
anybody?
anyone
just
you
your
want.
vendetta.
From anyone you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, or you can give somebody a time penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can get yourself right into that troika.
Yeah.
And Nelson won, and he decided to steal some money. Nah, I mean, I didn't know what he was gonna do. I feel like the right move probably be to go right to the Troika. 'Cause
He should have put himself in the Troika. He is a little bit short-sighted, I think.
I think he just wanted money.
Well,
like
he
he's
said he
definitely there to
doesn't-
get money.
He said he doesn't want to rock the boat too much early on, which I think is a completely valid play. And in the meantime, he gets 5K.
I feel like the least amount of like giving some like you're not making a vendetta by going in the Troika.
It was the right move for Nelson because Nelson's political game is not strong. And I think
He's
like
not lasting to the end of this game if he wants some money. This is the only way he like not the only way, but
yeah.
he gets some money now.
Yeah. I mean that's
so
true.
like
That's true.
I feel like for him as an overall challenge player, that was probably the best move.
yeah.
If he wanted to like actually go further in the game,
Yeah.
Troika is probably the better option.
Yeah.
But
I really like the whole Troika thing. It's a little more personal than the like half the team votes thing that they had in Dirty 30.
Mhm.
It's a little less personal than just like one person screwing over one other person. I think the small committee really works for me.
It's good, and it also forces you to piss more people off too,
Yeah.
which is good.
yeah, I find it kind of weird that like 1 minute they're picking 3 people, and then the next minute like it's just all 6 of them sitting together.
The
It just like doesn't
Inquisition
flow
thing.
well.
Yeah.
There's no time in between really, so it's not like that morning. There's no like politics
It's like-
going on.
Really, what they should do then is like that room where they're meeting to like deliberate, like the Troika. They should just be like, okay, we need to talk to 1, 2, 3, and just call them in right then and just do the deed.
Yeah, they
You
need
know?
to like. There's like some sort of like gap, but then there's not really a gap, and it just I find the flow a little.
There's
weird.
there's enough time in between the selection of the 3 people and the Inquisition for people to have a few conversations about like what they should try to do. Because Corey basically tells Nelson, or he's like I'm gonna try and pull some shenanigans in this thing, and then tries to make up some fake alliance that he heard of, which immediately backfires on him, and no one believes him.
Corey. I mean, Bananas was there. You're not gonna have it.
Yeah, Bananas was there, and he also accused one of the people on the Troika of being in this alliance. That dude's like, no, like this is not. It's not what I'm in.
I don't know.
It was weird.
It's fine.
Tough move.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, as I've discussed before, I don't give the challenge a pass. I
Yeah,
feel like the challenge has had bad episodes before,
totally
and I don't think the finale of the Dirty 30 was great. So
agree.
I think that they should step up their game this season.
Totally.
I feel like so far it's been pretty okay.
No Redemption House. It doesn't seem like unless they're hiding it from us at
I
this point.
do like the Redemption House though. I don't like the show when they bring the Redemption House back.
It
I
is.
feel like that was bad.
That
was done poorly.
it is kind of cool to think about that there could be a Redemption House at any time. Maybe we just don't know about it yet.
Well, the other big thing going on here that they haven't revealed yet is the heavy hitters,
Right? Yeah.
which is sort of like Redemption House, where you just have bonus players.
Yeah. It's kind of that like Invasion
what
of the
is this heavy
Champions
hitters
sort of
thing?
thing.
It's better if you don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
He doesn't want to know.
I do have. We were watching Shark Tank yesterday,
Yeah.
and there was this great quote that I have to say. Is that there is this girl trying to sell booby bars
Booby bars.
as a
What's a booby bar?
It was a bar to help you lactate better.
It's like a
it
bunch
had
of-
all of the like herbs and stuff that would like help you lactate if you're not lactating well enough, stuff like that.
Okay.
And the one person says so asks the girl, like, makes a comment about how this is only for pregnant women, right? And it's like not for men, so you're really like you're limiting your market. And she says, if I could get men to lactate, I'd be sitting in your chair. And I was like,
What?
I was like,
What
I was
does
like,
that
"What?
mean?"
Huh? It was just one of those great lines that I had to write down and bring up,
Very good.
regardless if we watched the show or not.
That's pretty great. Any other updates?
I watched the end of Floribama Shore.
Oh,
the 8th episode.
I did too, actually.
I enjoyed the show throughout. I thought it was like, honestly, it was just like kind of fun to see Southern people just like party. It was great. And then they're like, I don't know a lot of Southern people, so I don't know how real these people were, but they seem pretty real. And they were definitely like a fun family bond. I'm excited that there's a season 2, so I'm
Man,
in.
For sure.
Seeing the Christian dad like shotgun a beer was amazing.
Oh,
that
this
was good.
I feel like I don't know, some of the beef seemed a little weird, but
Yeah.
I'm interested to see who comes next season, who they kick off, and if they add anyone new.
Yeah.
There's definitely some boring people, like Courtney the Appear, like didn't really make an appearance. I think after the first like 2 episodes, like she
Yeah,
was
unle-
barely in it.
Yeah, unless she was peeing in something.
She was on that date, and then that was like it.
She had to pee in that urinal in that guy's bathroom.
Yeah, that was the only other one. And then Amy like peed in front of that cap.
Yeah.
That was so crazy to me.
Insane.
They've got to get some shit for that. Like, I can't believe they never showed the crew or like the cast Courtney peeing on the bed. Like, I can't believe that whole situation.
Man, that must have been amazing when whoever's bed that was saw that
Like,
episode.
can you imagine if you were Courtney and you didn't see that till the show aired?
That'd be horrible. You'd be horrified. That'd be terrible.
I mean, I'm sure she fucking owns it.
Sure.
I mean, she definitely seems like somebody that would own it.
I watched 4 episodes straight of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Oh,
for
man.
the first time ever last weekend.
Man, 4 episodes. That's definitely not a bottom 3rd episode show for you.
It was okay. It was okay.
Really coming around to Guy Fieri these days.
I understand the appeal now.
I feel
It's
like
the sunglasses.
the show's good because you're like, oh, I want that food. But overall, it's very like service level of like, there's no critiquing of the food essentially.
No,
Right.
he's always. "This is
He's just
best
like,
food."
oh, it's great. Like whether it's like good or not. So like you don't even know if you should go to those places because it's on the show.
My favorite part is like, they'll sort of show you the making of the food and, she's grinding up the onions and the garlic. And he takes a bite and he's like, oh, you can really taste a lot of the onion and the garlic really comes through. And it's like, yeah, we just saw it get made, dude.
Also, I'd hope so. Those are very strong flavors.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Another one of those popcorny shows that's like doesn't provide any real info on anything.
Oh, yeah.
But it would be fun to actually try some of the food. It would be nice to know if if the food was actually good, though. That's my complaint about that show.
It will probably give you a heart attack, though.
Will it?
I'm assuming. I mean, they're diners. Like, they gotta be greasy.
What if
It-
it's a drive?
What is a drive? I actually don't know.
Drive-in.
Oh, drive-in.
It's like a drive. Yeah, it's a drive-in. You guys know what a drive-in is.
What? Like a movie theater?
It's like it's like a Sonic. Like you drive up to the thing.
What's a Sonic?
And you order the food, and then they take it out to you at the car.
Are they on rollerblades? Like the 50s?
Sometimes they're on roller
Sometimes,
skates. Sometimes depends on the
it's
diner.
the precursor to the McDonald's style drive-through. And it is, yeah.
I finished Dark, that Netflix show.
Oh, how was that?
People are talking about. I didn't like it that much, to be honest.
Okay.
It was like it's like a sci-fi plot, but it like Netflix is bothering me a lot lately because all their shows seem really slow. Like it was very, very slow, and like and I'm just like, hey, I need you to speed these. Like, if that show was like 5 episodes long, good. And I also watched it with German with English subtitles, and
You got
there
it.
was a lot of like, there's a lot of characters that I didn't really. It was hard to figure out what was going on. I don't know if it was like the German aspect or just the show itself.
Yeah.
So just giving some counter feedback, I guess, against that show versus like what you can kind of read online.
Okay.
Anyone else got any updates?
nothing.
I don't think so.
Noah?
I'm a little late here, but I started watching The Good Place.
Oh, it's excellent.
How far are you?
I believe I'm on episode 9.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Season 1, episode 9?
Season 1, episode 9.
Cool.
Send out
Yeah.
send out a message once you're done with season 1.
Yeah.
I mean, next time you're on the pod, we could talk about season 1.
for sure.
Yeah. Excellent show.
Season 1.
It's so good.
It's a
you
really
haven't
good show.
even got to the best part yet.
Oh man.
Ted Danson's so good in that show. Ted Danson's unbelievable.
Ted Danson is good in every show.
That's
been in.
true. He's just
Like,
amazing on TV.
He's very good.
He was really good in Curb again this last season too.
He's good in Curb. Cheers is a very good show that no one really talks about anymore.
Yeah.
He's great in that show.
Oh, actually, I have a bit of an update. Me and Noah listened to a podcast about the creation of Curb, and I went back and watched all of season 1. So good.
Oh, great show.
Yeah, I feel like
Pretty good.
Pretty.
Curb, like I've gotta like watch a bunch of episodes to get in like a Curb mood. Like
Sure.
it's like it's not a show I could just be like, oh, it's on TV, let me watch this and it's hilarious. It's like, oh, I gotta be like, it's gotta warm me up to its like humor. I don't know why. Especially this new season, it took till like halfway through the season for
Oh,
me to,
really?
like, really into it. I don't know why.
New season was so good. I liked it a lot.
I've heard people don't like the new season.
Really?
Of Curb?
Oh, I liked
Yeah.
it a lot.
It's by far the best episode is when the guy's like doing the investigation of Larry and goes to all the past characters and they all justify that Larry was actually correct. And it's like, well,
the
I guess he
fatwa.
did have a point.
I thought for the fatwa specifically, there was like I totally forgot about it. I forgot about it, and then at the end of the episode, end of the season, when they were actually doing the musical, I'm like, oh yeah, that was some
Fatwa.
sort of musical that he was trying to get done. I totally forgot. Like I had no idea. It's like, oh yeah. They like dropped the plot line for like a couple episodes, and I like totally forgot about it.
I really wish there was the same rabid fan base, well, to a degree, of Curb Your Enthusiasm compared to like Rick and Morty, because they got Szechuan sauce out. Imagine they got Fatwa the musical
Yeah.
to be real.
That'd be great.
That'd be amazing.
I don't know. I don't
Lin
Yeah.
Manuel, Larry.
I feel like those two like cooperating on a project, sure, but does it have to be fatwa? I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know about that.
I'm sure the South Park guys would bankroll that.
I'm sure Larry David has a lot more money than the South Park guys.
Probably. I'm honestly like
I don't know,
they,
man.
They have like
Oh, yeah.
Broadway street cred.
You think so?
Larry David
Larry
has
David has way
More money than
Seinfeld.
God because
Yeah.
of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got cash.
They will make a musical out of anything nowadays if you want to.
They really are making a lot of musicals. just
There's a
to-
Jimmy Buffett musical, Margaritaville.
Is that only
That's
in
entirely
Vegas?
true.
Is that a Vegas one? I feel like there'd be an easy Vegas show. Like we're gonna go see Margaritaville, and then we're gonna go to Margaritaville and get some margaritas.
You got to put them together.
Yeah, you got to go before or after, or you do both.
Probably do both, right?
I mean, you definitely will be a little saucy beforehand, so you go to Margaritaville first. I didn't, I'm going to hot take on this. I didn't really like the Seinfeld thing in Curb. Like, I thought that, like, I rewatched the season recently because I was like, oh, I like Seinfeld. Let me continue this Seinfeld game. And I was just like, just wasn't the main focus enough. I wanted more Seinfeld.
It was also forced. It's like
It was very forced.
This sucks. I'm at like 9% battery, and I don't know how well my computer behaves after 10%. I might have to just cut it off early.
I can plug in your computer when we keep talking.
Oh shit! Yeah, we can do that.
I mean, we don't really need it. I'm just.
Sorry,
making up
I just
time,
realized a
you know.
little low battery notification.
Do we keep talking? Do we cut this out?
yeah.
Sorry, that's a bummer. I know.
Yeah, it's a bummer. We were talking about Seinfeld. Seinfeld's so good.
I do love Seinfeld's.
Did
Plug
not
plug
like-
for Seinfeld's. Seinfeld's great.
Plug for new season of Comedians Getting Coffee in Cars on Netflix. They do a pretty
Comedians.
good job.
Okay.
Comedians in cars getting coffee.
Did I say it wrong?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a show I've never really gotten into. It was on Crackle. There's ads. I didn't want to watch it.
Without the ads, it makes it a lot more pleasant to watch.
Oh
Yeah,
shit, we're down to
it's-
8%.
It's on my list of stuff to like back watch or like have on the side. I think because realistically, not that entertaining a lot of the time.
I actually watched the one with Larry David on it. They're a really good dynamic together.
Yeah, I mean, Larry David, definitely funny guy. And Jerry, like, I would watch that episode. But if I'm watching, like, Jerry and, I don't know, like, I don't even know if a good example
So
off the top of my
the
head.
past few were Sarah Jessica Parker, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon. Who else? I forget who else.
Yeah, I feel like the few I've seen, there's just, like, with the ads, you got the beginning, they talk about the car for a while, and then, like, you know, a lot of the jokes just about them ordering coffee or ordering food, and it's
It's a lot
It's
different
not-
now. At least like
the newer
it
seasons.
definitely focuses on the duo, and then like the car sets the like theme of the episode, kind of.
Sure, he tries to pick one that quote unquote, fits the personality of the.
Does he
person.
own all of these cars?
He's a huge car nerd.
I know he's a
Really?
car nerd, but
Yeah,
I don't know if
think
he
he
owns all of them.
I'm unsure. They don't really.
So
Him and
It-
Leno.
It's not Jay Leno's Garage, which we also haven't watched.
Oh, you just put that on.
That's
huh?
a show.
Yeah.
It's on like it's on CNBC because it's just a rich person show.
A rich person show.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, you should watch that Facebook reality show, I think, at some point.
no,
Is that a
Oh,
common man
Family?
show? Yeah.
Ball in the Family. It's on. Yeah, you have to go to Facebook.
Yeah. It's a Facebook reality show. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that we have to go to Facebook to watch it.
Or you can go. There's a Facebook app for Amazon Fire TV, so then you can watch it on the TV.
I'm sure you can.
We could
Chromecast
just
it or
cast
something.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can Chromecast.
We're not worried about where to watch. Like, we.
Laptop, hook up a TV. We got some options.
All right. You can find us on Twitter at Who Put This On. Find us on Facebook.com/Who Put This On. You can email us questions and suggestions at whoputthison@gmail.com. Please rate us on iTunes or wherever you find your podcasts. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.